Corey Heim just broke every meaningful record the Truck Series had. 12 wins, 48% win rate, led a lap in every single race he entered all season long. Now he is 23 years old, lining up for the longest race on the entire NASCAR schedule in just his 11th career Cup start. So what actually happens when 600 miles meets a generational talent? Let's start from the beginning of the Corey Heim story. Because Charlotte Motor Speedway does not exist in a vacuum, in 2022, Corey Heim arrived in the NASCAR Craftsman Truck Series and immediately won the Rookie of the Year award with Tricon Garage. Not a quiet, under-the-radar rookie year. A statement. He was already the youngest driver in NASCAR history to reach 10 career wins before he was done with that stretch of his career. And then 2025 happened, and everything about Heim's trajectory shifted from impressive to genuinely historic. In the 2025 Truck Series season, Corey Heim won 12 races out of 25 total. 12 wins. That is a 48% win rate across an entire season of professional motorsport. He led 1,625 laps during the year, breaking the all-time single-season record for laps led in Truck Series history. He recorded 23 stage wins in 2025, another record that did not exist on that scale before, and in the stat that says more about raw consistency than any single win total ever could. Heim led at least one lap in every single race he entered that season, every race. Not most races, not races he was competitive in, every single one. That is not a hot streak. That is dominance operating at a structural level, where no matter the track, no matter the conditions, Corey Heim's number 11 Tricon Garage Toyota was always somewhere at the front of the field. He won the 2025 Craftsman Truck Series Championship at Phoenix Raceway, in one of the most decisive title campaigns the Truck Series has ever seen, and the moment the checkered flag fell, the conversation in every NASCAR garage immediately became the same question. When does Heim get to the Cup Series full-time? That question is still being answered. But 23SI Racing is making sure the answer is built on the right foundation. In February of 2026, 23SI Racing announced that Corey Heim would compete in 12 Cup Series, starts this season in the number 67 Toyota Camry XSE. That is nearly triple the 5 races he ran in 2025 during his first year as the team's development driver. Multi-year development program designed by Denny Hamlin and the 23SI Racing organization to bring Heim to Cup readiness without rushing the process. Hamlin himself said it directly. We know the future is really bright for Corey, and we're working with him to ensure that he is as prepared as possible when his time comes to race full-time. Dave Rogers, the 23XI Senior Director of Competition, added that Heim's development with the team has been impressive and that the organization appreciates his patience in trusting their process. That combination of institutional support, a proven crew chief, and a clear long-term vision is exactly the kind of environment that separates successful Cup development stories from the ones that flame out early. And now the number 67 Fleetio Toyota Camry XSE pulls into the garage at Charlotte Motor Speedway for the Coca Cola 600, and the rubber meets the road in the most literal possible way. Because this race is genuinely different from anything else on the Cup Series schedule, and it is specifically different in ways that test exactly what young drivers lack most. The Coca Cola 600 at Charlotte Motor Speedway stretches over 4 stages, runs from late afternoon into full darkness, and demands that a driver manage their tire wear, fuel consumption, pit strategy, and physical endurance across 400 consecutive laps of a 1.5-mile intermediate oval. The temperature inside the cockpit of a Cup car at Charlotte on a May evening can reach levels that drain concentration and reaction time even from drivers who have run this race a dozen times. For someone on their 11th career Cup start, the mental load of 600 miles is unlike anything the Truck Series ever asked Heim to carry. Staying clean in traffic is the primary survival skill at Charlotte. The 39-car field entered for this race means the number 67 Toyota is racing through 40 laps per stage traffic patterns, while handling cars running at a completely different aerodynamic package than anything in the truck or ARCA world. Heim has shown in his earlier 2026 Cup starts that the raw speed travels with him. The 23XI Toyota equipment gives him a car capable of running competitively in traffic. But 600 miles also means tire strategy conversations on the radio that last for 20 laps at a time, restarts at lap 350, when every muscle in the body is screaming for the caution to not wave, and pit road execution sequences that require perfect driver-crew synchronization to avoid losing 10 positions in 6 seconds. Every lap Heim turns at Charlotte Motor Speedway in the Coca Cola 600, whether it ends in a top 10 finish or a mid-pack result at lap 400, feeds directly into the data that Bootie Barker and the 23XI competition team used to build the blueprint for Heim's eventual full-time Cup program. The 23SI organization built Tyler Reddick into the current Cup Series points leader, a driver who opened the 2026 season by winning the first 3 races, including the Daytona 500. The infrastructure around the number 67 Toyota is legitimate, and Heim is running inside it at every practice session and debrief that the team holds even on the weeks he is not racing. This is the race Kevin Harvick used to demonstrate his full package multiple times across his career. This is the race that separates drivers who can look fast in favorable conditions from drivers who can actually manage 400 laps of Charlotte concrete when nothing goes perfectly and the race is still very much alive at lap 380. Heim is not entering Charlotte to survive the weekend and check the box. The Truck Series record books suggest that is not how his brain is wired. He broke every meaningful single-season record in his series before graduating to this level. He led at least 1 lap in every race he entered for an entire calendar year of professional motorsport. He is 23 years old, and he is the defending champion of a national NASCAR series. The number 67 Toyota is at the back of the grid as an open entry, but open entries have surprised Charlotte Motor Speedway before, and Heim has spent his entire career making people look foolish for underestimating him. 600 miles at the world's greatest superspeedway. Memorial Day weekend. Amazon Prime Video streaming the whole thing live at 6 in the evening Eastern Time. This is Heim's biggest stage in a Cup car so far, and everything about the way 23SI has built this development program suggests they believe he is exactly where he needs to be. Drop a comment. Does Heim finish inside the top 15 at Charlotte on Sunday, or does 600 miles show the gap that still exists between the Truck Series and Cup racing at the highest level? Because that conversation is the most interesting thing happening in NASCAR development right now. And it is all coming to a head this Memorial Day weekend.